Welcome back to Glenn's Comic Corner, Classics as Non-Classics. This episode number 1588 in Doubleshot number 1482. Now I have pretty much both of these are DC trades, and they're kind of Batman related. Now, the first book, I should point out though, is the first of many characters that are celebrating 80 years this year. Yes, this is the first one I'm covering. What book is it? Joker! Yep. Believe it or not, it's been 80 years since this guy's debut. You want to know who else made his debut 80 years ago? Green Arrow, Aquaman, Flash. Well, the Jay Garrick Flash. I believe Hawkman also made his debut. I haven't seen one for him yet. There's Catwoman. Wonder Woman. Yes, a lot of known DC characters made a debut back in 1941. This book is basically collecting a lot of some really good and classic Joker stories. One of whom came out 10 years ago. That is not very popular with a lot of people. I'm surprised they put it in here. But the only reason why I think they put it in here was because it featured the Joker. The first story they have in here is Joker first appearance. Here's a fun fact about this story. This story is still semi-canon to this very day. Yeah, the story of how this one guy basically was like, there was a death threat against this guy where he was going to die at this particular time, and he did die at that particular time. Yeah, and this guy, this portion of this first appearance of Joker, this remained canon for years. Like, oh my gosh, it's still canon this very day, surprisingly, despite the fact that, here's the thing, the guys behind this story no longer alive. Yeah, that's from Batman number 1. Yeah, these are the stories you have in this book. You have, from the pages of Batman, you have Batman number 1, 37, 73, 159, 160, 251. His first Bronze Age appearance. 321, 429. That was actually part 4 of A Death in Family. 451, 614, Volume 2, number 17, and Volume 2, number 37. Batman Adventures, Mad Love. Batman the Dark Knight Detective, Dark Tech, number 1. Batman Harley Quinn, number 1. Batman the Killing Joke. Not much of the book. Batman Legends of Dark Knight, number 50. Batman The Long Halloween, number 3. The Brave and the Bold 111. Some of these are just covers, believe it or not. I don't have the full story here. Dark Knight Master Race, number 1. DC Nation, number 2. Death Comics 62, 168. 475, 476, 826, volume number 1, 1000. Got the 115. Harley Quinn, number 11. I think this is from the first volume for the series. Joker's Last and Joker's Last Laugh, number 6. Now, some of these stories, some of these early ones, let's see. I think it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 stories. The first 4 stories in here are written by Bill Finger, one of his co-creators. Bob Kane does the first 2, and of course Jerry Robinson, who actually has been credited over the years as one of the guys who created the Joker. He is the anchor of the issue. Yep. Now, of course, Batman vs. Joker. Now, there's also, between a lot of these eras, we have these short text from people who actually have been associated with the Joker. Well, at least people who have written these books. Well, first we have Dan DiDio, the former editor-in-chief of DC Comics. Well, actually, he was one of the former presidents of DC Comics. There's also Billy Jensen. I'm not really sure who this guy is. Mark Hamill. Yes, the guy who voiced the Joker Batman the Animated Series. Paul Dini, the guy who practically brought him to the screen. We also have one from Jeff Loeb. Yes, him. And from Scott Snyder. Yes, Scott Snyder. And these are basically they're taking the Joker. Now, Man Behind the Red Hood, that was technically the first appearance of the original Red Hood, who was actually the Joker, by the way. Yeah, the one with the red hood hat and the tuxedo and the red cape. That's the original Red Hood. Yeah, that one's done by Bill Finger. That was the only one not done by of course, Bob Kane. The Clayface Joker feud, that just features Clayface. I believe this was the original Clayface based with Carlo at this point. Yeah, I think it was. Joker's Five-Boy Revenge. This was the first Bronze Age appearance of the Joker, done by Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams. Laughing Fish and Sign of the Joker. This is actually 2 issues part of the Strange Apparitions storyline, a classic storyline from the late 1970s done by Steve Englehart and Marshall Rogers. Yes. And I love it that they threw in the first. Now, here's the interesting thing comes to this particular, this cover for, not that one. Where are you? Here it is right here. Believe it or not, I've actually seen this cover here as a poster. Yes, I have seen this very cover as a poster. Yep. Yeah, and it was all thanks to Neil Adams. We had the first Bronze Age appearance of Two-Face. Yep. But this has nothing to do with Two-Face. The Doubtful Birthday Dear Joker. This is done by the late Leen Wein and Walt Simonson. All this one is just celebrating Joker's birthday. Killing Joke, that is a story. It's basically a classic one-shot from the 1980s done by Alan Moore and Brian Ballard. Here's the thing when it comes to this particular one. Of course, they only have an excerpt. They don't have the whole story here. They have part of the story. This story, according to Alan Moore, was not meant to be canon, but DC counted as canon. Yeah, that's why I think it's a one-shot. That the family has been talking about to death over the years. Legend 50, it's just the issue where you have of course, the issue's done by Danny O'Neill of all people, which is a good choice for this series. And it's an overall really good issue. It just basically, there's the cover for this one is, and you're not going to believe this, the cover is simply Laughing Joker. Yeah, it's basically this. This is the cover. The interior artwork is done by Brett Bivens. Yeah, it's a Joker story, which, great the fact that it is for Joker. Yeah, this is the story that actually brought that classic Batman #1 to canon. Yeah, I believe this is the one that did that. The other ones in here, Bat Adventures Mad Love. This is actually an adaptation of the episode from New Adventures. Basically, this is the story that explained how Joker and Harley first met. The episode, I've watched it. It's from one episode from the series, and it's really good. Hush, classic story from, believe it or not, and I kid you not, it's been like 18 years since this story came out. And I have done a review for this one, so I'm not going to talk more about this one, except that it's really good. Soft Targets, that was from issue 15. It's actually part 4, a 4-part story. Yeah, I thought this was kind of weird they put this in here. Skyride is established by Paul Dini, and I love the Simone Bacci covers this one. This era of the comics is one of my personal favorites because it just a lot of really good stories done by Paul Dini. Yeah, pretty much any issue from Tita Comics from the era when I started reading, which I wasn't reading at that point. I read this later. It's just a really good era for Detective. Tita Comics Volume 2 #1. This is the issue where Joker has his face removed. The only thing I liked about the issue was the fact it's written by Tony S. Daniel. And he did the artwork too. The book itself was good, except for the final page. It is noteworthy for gross people out. And here's something just by sheer coincidence. 1 year later, we had in Uncanny Avengers the reveal that Red Skull removed Charles Xavier's brain and supposedly ate the damn thing. Dead Family, which punchline, conclusion of punchline. Yeah, from Batman 17. Yeah, I've talked about this issue already. I'm not talking about it anymore. Now, got a lot of really good stuff here. If you're a fan of the Joker, I do recommend checking this out. It's good. But sometimes I just kind of wish they would include the whole story in here, but these are portions of really good stories. The early stuff is really good. It's just really enjoyable to see some of these classic Joker stories in here. I'm going to get this book I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Excuse me. The one story I kind of felt this still did not need to be in there was Detective Comics Volume 2 #1. Why? Because of the gross ending. I have nothing against Tony S. Daniel's work. He's worked a lot better work than this thing. If I get a chance, man, I'm going to ask about that. Alright, next up it is... If I get the thing to work properly, real. Next up is Justice League 3000, Volume 2, Camelot, the Camelot War. This collects issues 8 to 13 of Justice League 3000. Now, here's a fun fact for you. This series actually lasted for 15 issues, not 13. And you might ask, Nick, where are the last 2 issues? They're actually in the first volume for Justice League 3001. Yeah, the whole thing with this one is that the Justice League finds out the Catwoman was under control of the Five all along, and they basically try to fight the system. We also have, get this, we also have Ice pop up in here. Yes, the actual Ice from the regular in-universe continuity. Tara Osen, I think her name is, who was actually one time dating Guy Gardner. And, of course, Wonder Woman turns, I don't know if she's actually a clone or not. They say, and I did not like it, the fact that Keith Giffen and Jenny M. DeMatteis wrote this in here, where they said the JLI was a joke and embarrassment. Seriously, guys? Seriously. You guys wrote the JLI, and you calling it the era a joke? Why? This makes no frickin' sense. Like, reading this again makes, it makes a frickin' sense. I love the JLI stuff. It's awesome. Why would you consider that stuff a joke? You wrote it. Why would you write it as a joke? It makes no sense, like I said. Yeah, and of course, the artwork is still done by the awesome Howard Porter. I, of course, have never met any of these creators before. I have met Ken McGuire, who was the original artist supposed to be for this book. But for some reason, I did not get an answer. I did ask him about this, but he never gave me an answer of why he was changed from him to Howard Porter. Yeah, why he decided to lead the project. It was maybe because he didn't like the direction the book was going, or something. I don't know if this was Keith Giffen's idea, or Jay DeMatteis' idea to consider the JLI to be a joke. We also have, get this, Booster Gold and the Blue Beetle show up here. Yeah, so apparently they've been chronologically frozen for 1,000 years, for some reason. And up in the future, and I think this is supposed to be after Booster's time, because he's from the 25th century, not the 30th. Yeah, I thought this was kind of weird. So, they basically wander about and turn, these are the actual Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. Now, Booster Gold, it makes no freaking sense for him to chronologically freeze himself because he's a time traveler. Why would he need to freeze himself going in the future? And also, Blue Beetle runs into a guy who impersonates him in the future, which I thought was kind of weird. But this book, I gotta say, over the first trade, this actually was sort of an improvement. I give this book a 9.5 out of 10. It's a damn good book. Yep, it just that. The only thing I don't like about it is, like, them considering the JLI be a joke. I mean, I love seeing Tara. I love the fact she's here, and they acknowledge the fact this is the actual Tara from, even though this is probably a Disney Universe's version of this series version of Tora, aka Ice. And she's like an Ice Empress now, which, okay, that was really cool. Let me show off basically what she looks like in here. I gotta say, Howard Porter himself does an absolute fantastic job with this. Yeah, it's also one point they consider basically like Flash dead. Yeah, there's also, get this, Etrica the Demon is here. Yeah, well, apparently he's a lord now for some reason. Let's see if we can find. And look, apparently these guys don't know who Booster Gold and Blue Beetle are. Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. Excuse me. Yeah, here it is. I found it. Yeah, I'm almost there. I almost found her because I found the issue she appears in. And here she is. Here's Ice. Yep, that's her. Ice from the JLI series, who at one time dated Guy Gardner. Oh, don't worry. I don't think, if you're curious though, if she encounters like her offsender. Yeah, this is where like, oh, so Justice League National pretty well. The best ever at jail was a joke. Yeah, that was stupid. Yeah, I. Oh my gosh. Not sure why the heck they did that for, but yeah. So yeah, that's it for Cycle Review. Stay tuned for next review. Is going to be a comic book history. And then Shaman King. Yep. Next video. Bye.